Hey guys.
How you doing, Adam?
Hey. Jane, how's it going?
Not too bad, how are you?
Good. Craig?
Thanks for having us.
So we got some special guests here. I don't know, we wanted to do a quick video today to talk about what the hell's going on out there in the market. So we brought in some local experts. We're in the boardroom. Super shifty. We have a tea kettle holding up the camera. These will hopefully get better.
I'm not wearing pants.
Craig has no pants on. But yeah, I don't know. We thought we could bring some value to you guys and talk about what the heck's going on, what the heck to do. I have questions too, so I'm interested to hear what these guys say. So yeah, we're just going to start out. So, current state of the market. What is going on in Durham Region? And tell us what you're seeing from both aspects. So there's the mortgage side, obviously the realtor side. What are you guys seeing? What's going on?
So the zoo right now, basically.
Okay.
We've seen in February, we've seen a 37% increase since this time last year, which is outrageous. Wow. And just in the last month alone, from January to February, we've seen a 10% increase in sold prices.
Crazy.
So yeah, we're seeing multiple offers on basically every house. Usually firm offers.
Is this making your job way easier?
No, it's not making my job. It's a great time to be a seller. That's what I can say. So as a buyer, it's really frustrating, and navigating these waters is.
But it must change your job a little bit too, in the fact like everyone looks at it and it's like, oh, the realtors are just making bank right now. It's so easy. Like everyone's promoting, over asking price. Is the fact that you're getting, a bunch more offers, that there's bully offers, or is it making your job more cumbersome? Has it changed your day-to-day of how you work, or how does that even work?
It's definitely changed our day-to-day. So holding offers is the norm. So when you're listing a property, it's really great. It's a good position for your sellers to be in because, you have this 5-day exposure to the market. There's a lot of bully offers coming in. A lot of influence from Toronto we're seeing in Durham.
That Toronto money.
Dumping
in.
I know. Not only that, but a lot of investors are coming because Durham Region is still the only place that's affordable to buy a house in the GTA.
Yeah.
And you can commute here. So yeah, that's where we're seeing a huge increase in prices because of that.
Cool. Sweet. And Mr. Mortgage Man?
It's definitely difficult. I mean, in the past, we've seen sort of a steady incline in prices, but obviously the past few years have jumped up by double digits and as high as 30%, which is a huge problem on its own, but also the government's tried to control it by reducing what I can do from my end, which is understandable because it's easy for them to sort of change mortgage rules and change mortgage laws. But what it's really done is hurt first-time home buyers. So it hasn't affected the people that have a ton of equity in their home, or obviously foreign home buyers, which is becoming more and more of an issue right now. But first-time home buyers are really, really having a hard time because they've introduced what's called a stress test, where even if you get a great rate at, say, 2.64%, you have to qualify at 4.64%. So it's reduced the buying power of first-time home buyers in a lot of ways. So yeah, it's made it really tricky for everybody, but especially for first-time home buyers in this market.
And there's no more, you can't go in at 5% anymore and be like, I'm buying my house. 6 years ago when I bought my first home, that's what I was banking on. I moved home, saved as little as possible because I needed to get the hell out of there. But you can't really do that.
You can do 5% down still, but of course 5% down of an average home in Whitby or Oshawa, I mean, you're looking at $600,000, $30,000 is a lot of money. Yeah. And then the payments are so high. We do see a lot of people having their mom and dads co-sign on the mortgage, which is totally understandable. But
Mommy and daddy, they're always coming out for you.
But we have to make sure as well that they're still going to be able to pay that mortgage at the end of the day, because we don't want to put them in a situation where their house broke.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, people still do want to own homes, and there is definitely some indications that the market's going to keep going up, even if it's by a smaller percentage at this point. So
definitely, with the infrastructure going on here in Durham, with the GO coming out to Bowmanville and the 407 going all the way to the 115.
Shit's popping.
It's popping, yeah, it's popping, and there's no real sign of it slowing down until home prices here start getting in line with the rest of the GTA.
So, first-time home buyers advice. I think I just keep hearing from parents and everyone talking what are my kids going to do? They're screwed. Should they be buying right now? Should they not be buying? Should they live in a basement for the rest of their life? What's the take on what actually to do right now? Because I'm even lost. I'm like, I'm going to sell my house, and I'm like, wait,
you have to find
where are you
somewhere
going to go?
Yeah. So what's the expert approach at this? And what do you guys, if you have a kid, you don't have a kid, but if you were talking to your kids, your family, what advice do you give right now for a first-time home buyer in Durham Region?
So it's really tough. I know a lot of people are thinking, oh, the bubble's going to burst and maybe we'll just rent for a little while, but then you run the risk of pricing yourself out of the market. So I guess the best bet is realistically the most important thing is to get your finances in order, to make sure that your credit's good. Talk to a mortgage broker, make sure you get that firm pre-approval, because so many offers are in multiples that a financing condition, you know, isn't real attractive to a seller. So that's the main thing. You really need to get your finances in order, and then you need to align yourself with somebody who's really searching on your behalf, because just going out and shopping at open houses, you know, you're not seeing all that's out there, because the market's moving so fast. If you're not getting properties sent to you as soon as they hit the market, oftentimes with all these bully offers, those properties are already sold by the time they hit realtor.ca.
So what about, like, I know us on the insurance side, I mean, there's a bit of worry now to the fact of, like, people are just trying to buy a house and there's no conditions at all. So they're not doing pre-inspections, they're not looking at, are you guys seeing that and feeling that with your clients 100%. That you're looking at? Or potentially people are walking into nightmare homes and have no idea because they're just trying to drop bank.
They're just trying to get in. So with a lot of buyers, what we're doing, because it is your biggest investment, it's so important to make sure that you're protected. If a home inspection is something that, you know, is something that you want, the only way that basically we're getting it done these days is to bring a home inspector in prior to putting in that offer.
Oh, wow.
And although, you know, there is some cost associated with that, in the long run, you're not, you know, purchasing a lemon that's gonna
So do you you're still recommending for all your buyers, like, have you worked on deals where they're like, nope, just go, like?
So many of the buyers at this point are just so frustrated and, you know, so eager to get into the market that they're willing to forego that inspection. But especially on some of the older homes, and in Oshawa especially, like, these homes have been around for a long time, and there's a lot of aluminum wiring and foundation problems, and really it's important to cover your ass.
Check it out. Yeah, especially we're seeing as well the problem with the appraisal. Like, if you buy a house and there's 18 offers and you come in at $700,000 and it was listed at $550,000, I mean, it's all well and good that you won the offer, but does the lender feel it's worth $700,000? So they're going to send out an appraisal on pretty much every deal and make sure the value's there. And if it doesn't come in, say it comes in at $650,000, then you have to come up with that $50,000 down plus your down payment on top of that. So we're seeing that a little bit, not too much, but there is definitely some appraisals falling short, which is a huge problem.
Yeah, it's a huge problem if you have less than that 20% down, because if you have 20% down, oftentimes you can make it up. But if you have 5% down, you're at risk of losing your deposit if you're not able to close that deal and find that extra money. So.
You guys are stressing me out.
I know, you should be
nervous. So
it's just really important that you're working with people who are working for you and protecting
your interests.
Getting
a qualified pre-approval and making sure your credit's in line. They, basically, lenders want to see you have two credit pieces, like a credit card and a credit line. They want to see that you have them for 2 years, and they want to see you use them. So that's the main thing.
So I guess, like, a personal question out of this, these are all kind of personal questions, but has this market made the experts, you know, waver at all in what you're doing with your own properties? Have you guys been like, maybe it's time to list, or maybe not? Or, like, what's your guys' take on your own properties and what you're doing? You guys obviously own properties.
I'm probably in the same boat as you. I would love to sell my house right now, but then where am I going to go, right? Like, unless you're going to go way out past Newcastle, I don't know what you can do, because you still live and work in the area. You know, it definitely does scare you with the values jumping up like what they are. But really, there's not much you can do. We're just all along for the ride.
Well, so another thing that you can do is, like Craig was saying, and like you were saying, like, you want to sell your house, but where are you going to go? Another option is refinancing. So taking a look at how much equity you just grew in your home, your house rich, and potentially pulling out that equity and purchasing an investment property, which a lot of people are doing as well, which is also driving the market up.
Crazy. So we just buy more.
Right, exactly.
Let's go to town.
Yeah.
You guys want to work on a new rental property?
Totally.
Okay.
Yeah,
right. And then I guess, so last but not least, we don't want to take up too much time, but where do you see this going? Do you see this falling off? I mean, everything that I hear and everyone I talk to is like, oh, just wait, it's going to dip. And I'm like, I've only been alive for 32 years, but I've never seen houses all of a sudden just become cheaper exponentially. So what do you guys think is going to happen?
That happened in 1989. The market dropped by like 35 points.
Craig, I was like 5 years old. I don't know about that time.
I know. I was not old, so don't even start. I know, in 1989, the market dropped by like 35%, and it took about 10 years to recover. Now, I mean, a lot of the headlines from that time are just as scary as the headlines you read now, but the only difference is inventory. There's no inventory right now. Back then, there was a ton of inventory, a ton of people buying multiple homes. A little bit of that now, but there is absolutely no inventory. If the market dropped by 10%, quite honestly, so what? It would just be where it is 2 months ago.
Yeah.
So that's not really a big deal. Even if the market dropped by 20%, it really honestly is not that scary a prospect, because it's not going to change where we're at right now. The inventory is so low that even if the market did drop by 10 to 20%, there'd be so many first-time home buyers that would be thrilled because they could actually buy a home.
Yeah.
So I really don't see a huge risk in any sort of market plunge. The only way that really I think it feasibly could happen is if the rates went up by like 2%. And I just can't see that happening, because obviously the rates are tied to so many businesses that borrow from the government to invest. So the government doesn't want that at all. So.
No, and especially out here, like we were saying, Durham is such a hot spot right now, and it used to be a secret, and it's not a secret anymore.
No secrets.
No secret here. So yeah, with all the infrastructure going on here, and you know, still being the only place that's affordable to buy a house, and it's not even at this point. It's, you know, we're $650,000 is the average price of a home in Durham. Yeah, which is up 37%. It was like 400 and something last year. So with the 407 and the GO and all the infrastructure, like it's
insane,
not stopping.
What about new developments? Do you think, like, and I know that was just a personal choice that I made and felt like, and this was 5-6 years ago, but are new developments still a better bet because you're not getting caught in these crazy bidding wars if you're lucky enough to
if
be
you're
early
lucky enough
enough?
to get one, yeah, if you want to camp outside for 5 days and brave the weather.
And I guess people going east still, like
definitely. Like,
and then I mean, you're waiting 2 years for it to close. I've never seen a new development close on time.
So it's not as easy as it looks. And like
No,
every myth I've heard, like, oh, just do this, and just purchase. Like, it's not going to be that easy. Nothing is easy.
Yeah, there's no great way to do it, but you know, obviously getting your finances in order and coming to see qualified people like Gene is a good start.
Hey, look at that.
Boom.
Okay, wicked. So
drinks are on me.
Boom.
People stop watching anyways.
Yeah.
So we're gonna wrap this up. I don't know. We're gonna see how this goes. If people like it, we can do more of this stuff. I just figured, personally for us, that we've got so many questions around real estate in Durham Region. Happen to have two good friends that are in this game all day, every day. So thank you guys for coming in.
Thanks for having us.
We'll share this around and see what's up. And maybe next week we come back and we'll hand out like trips to Bahamas and
that's
cars.
the plan. Yeah, we talked about that.
Okay, awesome.
Good.
Thanks, guys.